Okay, so this is Scratch, not Scratch Junior. This is going to be your first lesson in Scratch. So this is what it looks like when you start a new project. And this is the cat that it always gives you just to kind of start out. But if you don't want to use the cat, you can click right here and that'll get rid of it. And you can create new characters if you want. So we're going to do that. Now what we're going to do this time is we're going to spell your name. We're going to create your name and we're going to make it do something fun. So first, come down here. This is where all the characters go. And this button right here says choose a sprite. That's what Scratch calls its characters. They're sprites. So you click on that and then you have all of these to choose from. Tons and tons and tons of stuff that you can use that they have already ready for you. But we'll go up here and we'll say letters because we want letters. So here's some letters that they have that you could use. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick this block A. See, now you've got a character here that you can move around. So we'll put A right there. Now we need more. We need the rest of the letters of your name. So we'll come back in here, go back to letters, and pick the L. Put the L right here. I'll come back here and go to letters again. Pick the E. Make the E line up how it should. And we'll come back here again. For the last one, go to letters and pick the X. Now get over here. Okay. So now we've got all four letters. That's pretty cool. But they don't do anything yet. So let's make them do something. Now, you know all these. These are you're used to seeing these in Scratch Junior. This is all, but they have a lot more stuff here. There's a lot more stuff that you can do in Scratch. So what we're going to do is here in events, this is where you're going to start because this is this block. You know this block, right? This says whenever I click the flag, we're going to start doing stuff. So this is kind of a start block. So we're going to put that there. Now, what do we want it to do? What we're going to have it do this time is when the mouse touches it, when the mouse goes over a letter, I want it to change to look like a different A. We're going to change what it looks like. And then when the mouse stop touching it, then it's going to change back. So the way we do that is, and I want it to do it forever, not just the first time I touch it. I want it to keep doing it over and over and over. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to wrap everything in a loop that says loop forever. So just keep doing whatever I put in here, just keep doing it forever. The first thing I want it to do is I want the A to just sit there and wait. I want it to wait until the mouse touches it. And the way you do that is right here. There's a wait until something. So we'll put that in here. Wait until something. We want it to wait until what? Until the mouse touches it. Now the way it does that is here in sensing, there's more blocks, and there just happens to be one called touching mouse pointer. And see how the shape is kind of this diamond or hexagon shape? And do you see how this is a hexagon shape? That means that this block wants one of these kind of blocks. So you can say wait until touching color, or wait until color is touching stuff like that. But the one that we want right now is touching mouse pointer. So we'll put that in there. So it says wait until touching mouse pointer. Well, so okay, now it waited until it touched the mouse pointer. Now what do we want it to do? We want it to, here in looks, you can change how it looks. That makes sense, right? And it has all this stuff for saying things and thinking things and switching costume. Oh, that sounds good. We want it to change costumes. We want it to change what it looks like. So we'll put one of those there. And we'll come back to that in just a second. But I want to keep putting the rest of the code down. So once it changes costume, when the mouse touches it, what do we want it to do next? we want it to wait a little bit more, right? We want it to wait until the mouse leaves. So we need another wait. So we come back over here to control the orange blocks, and we come back down here until to get the wait until block again, and put that there. Now, this time we don't want it to wait until it's touching the mouse pointer. We want it to wait until it's not touching the mouse pointer. So how do we do that? Well, that brings us to one more thing. Here in operators, I know it's kind of a weird word, but it lets you, these things, like for example, this is a hexagon, but it has a hexagon inside of it. So it changes one hexagon to a different meaning. And this just so happens this is the one that we want. See, it says not something. Normally we have touching mouse pointer, but you can come over here to sensing, grab that touching mouse pointer to get a new one. And if we put it in here, instead of touch mouse pointer, it's not touching mouse pointer. So now we can have it wait until not touching mouse pointer, which is exactly what we want, right? And then we need another one of these to switch costumes. So we'll come back to looks, and we'll say switch costume. Now what is this going to do? When we start it, it'll keep doing a bunch of stuff forever. The first thing it does is it waits until touching the mouse pointer. Once it does that, it'll switch a costume. Once it finishes that, it'll wait until it's not touching the mouse pointer. And then it'll switch costume again. And then it'll start the whole thing over and wait until touching mouse pointer again. So it just keeps doing that over and over. Now, let's talk about the costume part. The costumes, if you look up here, there's a costumes tab. So let's take a look at that. And that's what its costume is right now. That's what it looks like. And if you come down here to the bottom, we can add a costume. So let's choose a new costume. Oh, and it's the same thing. We can come up here to letters, and we can pick a new A. Let's pick this glow A. So now it's a glow A. Now we come back to code, and we want it to switch to which one? Let's look at costumes again. These are called block A and glow A. So I think right now it looks like the glow. So maybe when you touch it with the mouse, I want it to be the block A. And then when the mouse pointer leaves, it should go back to glow A. Sound good? Okay. Now we need to do the same thing for L. That's a lot of work, right? I don't want to have to do all that over again. With Scratch, you can help yourself out. Let's drag this over to L. Can we do that? Oh, look, you can put it on L. Wait, but it's still here. Okay, well that's good, because we didn't want to take it away from A, but now let's look at L. It's in L too. Great. So that saves us a lot of work, right? Same thing with E and X. They're empty right now. So let's drag this again and put it in E, and then we'll drag it again and put it in X. Now we've got it in A, L, E, and X. All of them have the same thing. Great. That's fantastic. But we're looking at L right now, the L character. L doesn't know about block A and glow A. Let's look at its costumes. It only knows about block L. So we need to change that. Well, first, let's give this its other costume. Come down here and come back up here to letters and find the glow L. There's glow L. All right, now it's got two. So now we can come back to its code and we can say switch costumes to block L and then glow L whenever it's done. Okay, let's give this a try so far, see how it works. So now when we come in here, it changes to that and it changes back. And this changes to that, and when the mouse leaves, it changes back. Pretty neat, huh? When it's touching it, when it's not touching it. Doot, 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 doot. Okay. Let's finish up then. We got to do the same thing for E and X. So this is ready. We just have to add the costume. We come down here. We go to letters. And we pick the glow E. And then we go back to code. And we say block E and glow E. Okay. And the same thing for X. Go to costumes. Choose a new costume. Go to letters. Find the glow. Are we on X now? Yeah, we're on X. Yes, we're on X. All right, so now we've got new costume there. And the last thing we need to do is change this to block X and glow X. All right, I think we might be done. So let's give it a try. We can make it full screen and start. And if we move the mouse over it, A, L, E, and X. Pretty cool. Boom, 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 boom. Now, when we're done, we can come back out here and let's name this Alex. Alex's name. Let's do that. There we go.